Moto Guru. In this video, I'm going to talk about the options you have for using a Garmin Zumo XT2 in your car. So your options are fairly limited. You can purchase the Garmin car kit, which is here under accessories, mounts, automotive mount kit. Now within that kit, you get a suction mount, this bracket in the middle, and you get a charger to connect your device via USB-C. The only bit you really need is this bit in the middle here, this bracket, because if you've got any history of Garmin devices, you will have a suction mount lying around, and you don't need a proprietary charger to supply power to a USB-C cable. Chances are you already have one of those in your car for charging your phone. So unfortunately, you have to buy the whole thing, and it costs, in the UK at least, $24.99. That is probably the cheapest option. The second option is to build your own active mount, which is what I typically do. So if we go back to motorcycles, if you want to build an active mount, so you don't have to mess around with cables every single time, you need to purchase an additional motorcycle power cable at $34.99. And then you also need to purchase an additional motorcycle mount bracket at $16.99. And then in addition to that, you need to purchase something like this, a cigarette lighter plug. This one is $5.99. And in addition to that, you will also need to buy the automotive mount kit at $24.99 in order to get hold of this bracket in the middle. So that brings your grand total of components to £82.96, which is frankly a bit ridiculous. You can buy probably a cheap satellite navigation device for that price. So is this a sensible thing to do? You'll have to make your own mind up about that. I've done it because I felt like it, and that was my decision, and this is how I went about doing it. The power cable comes with an additional fuse as well, which you can fit, and all the screws and even this nice screwdriver to put things together. So there's no graceful way to do this. You just need to guide it in and give it a bit of force, like so. And then it lines up nicely. And then we add the screws. There's 3 screws, and on this occasion we'll have to use all of them. In the XT1 days, they would give you 2 screws, but you only needed to use 1. For this device, you need to use all 3, and they're kind of star formation screws now. So we'll wait till that clicks and then screw it in. These nicely have thread lock on them actually, which is a nice touch, I would say, for use on the motorcycle where it's quite a high vibration, or can be a high vibration environment. So those 2 on, then there's 1 more on the front here. So we'll just secure that one in there. Again, just turn it to the left till it clicks. There we go, screw it in. Just snug those 2 on the back as well. Okay, we're good to go. Next, I'm going to install the inline fuse. The power adapting or cigarette lighter plug I bought also has a fuse, but there's no harm in installing an additional fuse. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to crimp off a bit of extra wire here, about that much, so I can fold this over and make a better connection. The ends are tinned, which is a nice touch from Garmin, but if you do fold them over, you can just make a slightly better electrical contact. So I'll do that there, and also on the fuse. There. Fold that over. I'm going to use a connector block to connect the fuse, just because that's what I'm most used to using. You may want to use a different type of connector if you feel happier with that. and just check the integrity of that connection, and also check that there's a fuse here. Last thing you want is to connect everything, it doesn't work and you can't figure out why. So always just check there's a fuse in there and then you are good to go. So the last stage power-wise is to fit a plug. This is a plug I bought on Amazon. It also has a fuse, and I used a connector block to connect it to the motorcycle wiring harness because that's the connection I'm most comfortable with. Check the integrity and it looks good. So the final step is to adapt the motorcycle mount to use in the car, which is what we're going to do next. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to attach the motorcycle mount to this car mount, so then we can use it in the car. That's by far the easiest way or solution to do it that I've found. So what I do is I use adhesive Velcro. Now from when I did this project last time, I already have adhesive Velcro on a car mount, so I just need to add the furry side to this, stick it together, and then we're done. Right, so I've cut the furry side of the Velcro to size, so I just need to stick that on here. I really love this stuff. I use it quite a lot around the house as well. What's nice about it is it's a very secure way of mounting things, but it's not permanent, so if you do need to separate those things later, you can. It's like a sort of flexible glue. Okay, so we're going to line this up here like so. Just press it down nicely. Okay, and then we attach that to this bit here, which is the bit that goes in the car. So just line it up nicely and press. Nice and secure. I mean, that is really solid now. And then we just mount that in the car, but I'll show you we can bench test just to show how this works. So I have a power supply that I can use indoors for testing these things. So I plug that in here. Now, if I dock the Zumo, if I've done everything correct, it should come on. There we have it, powers up straight away. So that is now powered and charging using 12 volts, using the motorcycle mount, and that can be used in the car. And here it is in the car. Yes, I do have a pin protector in the car. I could say it's a bit excessive, but I'm the one that has to look at it, so I'd rather it look neat and tidy. Just dock the Zumo in. And it powers up straight away. So there's the powered mount in the car. So just before I close out the video, I wanted to revisit the cost of this solution again. Yes, it is extremely expensive at effectively £83, but the Zumo XT is a flagship device, and if you want to use that conveniently in your car, this is the only real solution at the moment, other than using the car kit with the suction mount, connecting the cable manually every single time, which is a bit of a faff and not something I want to do. The challenge I have is that I've had a 550, a 660 and a 590 LM, and they all had powered car mounts. And having had that experience, I simply can't go back to, or I don't want to go back to messing around with cables. So that's the solution and that's what it costs. Once it's installed, it works great though. Thanks for watching, and remember to like, share and subscribe.